Everybody else was an 8. He had a 16 millimeter. That was his hobby. He did whatever went on in Mount Calvary, he photographed. Or he would find kids anywhere.
Yeah.
He would go to where there were fires. He would go wherever. He just loved doing it. And it got to be where people would ask him to come and show videos at meetings. So when they'd have their annual community hall meeting, he would come and show the videos, and everybody just loved him. So we took those 16 millimeters, put them on VHS tapes. That didn't work very well. They went so fast you couldn't see them. So I found a person in Milwaukee that would transfer from the VHS to the DVDs. And so we had a whole bunch of sets made of that. And there at least you can sit and watch them.
What did people say about it back then? I mean,
they enjoyed it.
Did people ask him to come and film things?
No.
No, he just showed up. He was always
Seriously
right.
showed up.
Anytime he had the camera out, the kids would come.
Yeah.
You know, and he would bring Cracker Jacks, and he had those little black mint things, or
helps.
Yes.
They were a little.
It was like black licorice that you would put
in
between your tongue or between your gum.
Yeah,
and we're talking 70s, where, you know, and he would drive into town and he would park in the driveway, and all the neighborhood kids would come over because they knew he had candy or he had a joke, you know.
Did they just know his vehicle, or did it take Abler coming and meeting on it?
They knew his vehicle.
They knew his vehicle. Yeah. And he would get out and he'd take the camera and the kids would do whatever. You know, he'd say, okay, come on, do funny faces, and they do funny faces. Or he always had jokes, no matter what. It was like, you know, I am so dry I can't even say the word esophagus.
Esophagus.
That's when you knew that he was thirsty. And Grandma Abler was always called Carmelita.
Yeah.
So it was always Carmelita by him.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, the biggest thing was the jokes and the stories. I wish we had recorded some of those. You know, it's like
he always had something to say.
If you have 26 sheep and one died, how many are left?
I don't know.
19. They were 26.
Because it's 26 sheep instead of 26 sheep, you know. And he would always say, you know, do you live in town or do you carry lunch?
Always.
And that was his way
of saying from town,
or did you
bring a lunch to come here today?
Yeah.
From out of town.
Yeah.
And he always carried Cracker Jack. He said every time he went to a place, because he would be on call 24/7. If your furnace died at 3 o'clock in the morning and it's 20 below, he would go. And he would always take Cracker Jack along for the kids.
Because the kids came.
He must
have bought it in cases.
He must have had stock.
He must have been stocking it because he kept buying
back then, you know, you had the little boxes,
and you could do it,
and you could do the treat. Or, you know, you could treat the kids. That and the ruler, the old wooden ruler.
Yes.
The ones that trifold.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Always in his back, everywhere he went.
He measured everything. We went to Florida, and he beeped when we got on the plane. He said, "Oh, I forgot the ruler." So he took it out, and we were waiting in the airport, and he's measuring the steps. He'll say, "These are not to code. They're only 8 inches." He would do that all the time. He did.
He couldn't shut it off. It was just Grandpa was Grandpa.
Yeah.
He didn't shut it off. People would see him come.
Yeah.
He would drive through St. Cloud, and I think one of the videos was out in front of the tavern.
Peck's.
A bunch of people were standing outside, and he pulled over and he
Just
started interviewing
filming.
the guys in town, saying, "Who are you, and what do you live in town, or do you carry lunch?"
Both Grandma and Grandpa were very personable people.
Yeah.
And they loved to talk to people and to find out their history and
Who's related to who?
right.
Yeah.
Right. And film for him was just an expression of gathering all of that and putting it together.
It was his hobby.